Never know where life is going to take you, but just know that everything that has been occurring leads up to the big moment. So like everything that you've been desiring and this experience and just wanting to get out led to this moment here, being with myself and the therapist and processing live on camera in real time, man.
I'm telling you the joy.
Yo.
The joy also extends back here.
Yeah.
To the event you had with Ryan and the other brothers on the panel.
Yeah.
And I meet Elijah, who has his first talks about what Zendaya is planning to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my guys invites me is because of real estate, and he's recording the park, and I'm just in the space, like I'm just soaking up game. Like, and grateful, and to be months away. Well, it could be a year.
Yeah.
I don't remember what date it was, but it's that fresh in my mind where it's like that was the first spark for me at a time where like I just had, maybe I could go back to school to get a degree to be this teacher that they telling me I gotta be.
That you gotta be.
Because like the salary set and certain things I don't know yet. And it's nothing wrong with school, but I'm so expansive that I wouldn't be doing this right now if I had gone back to school.
Right.
Because if I stayed in the school building, I wouldn't be doing this.
You won't be doing this.
I left the school building in February. So I was like, January, I talked to somebody about doing a dual, like a joint podcast. Their schedule was different. Their ambitions were different. So when I recognized our value system had alignment, but our visions weren't in sync.
Yeah.
I was like, let me see what I can do. And I did like 20 episodes in that first month. And I didn't release any until the 23rd of the month. So I was 20 reflection journals ahead before I started. And I always love to get at the people.
Yeah.
Have your silent wins. And when you step into the world, you're really a winner. I mean, you already were a winner.
But it's like that shadow work.
Because you were already a therapist.
Yeah.
When you're counseling these kids, like I'm so big as of late as when I'm in a state of being, I am. When I'm in a state of trying, I'm confused. This ego is like, you're not doing this right. Well, what am I doing right? I really don't know because I'm ego. I don't know nothing. I'm just making stuff up as we go.
As we go along. Building the plane as we fly.
But then it's like solid faith and it's like solid understandings and like tangible, factual wins. Like I factually knew I had 23 episodes. I factually knew I taught in school for 3 years up until that point.
So you had the evidence.
I just finished a yoga journey. Like I went through a yoga training for 10 months. Putting money to that, building, investing in self. Like I seen real time what my personal investment in self came out to be.
Right.
And I'm coming back to people telling me like, well, you got to do this. I said, Gotta. What's the timeline?
Right.
Why you ain't talked to such and such yet? Why you not traveling this summer?
And you just explaining that just made me think about like why it's so important to know your vision, to know yourself, because a lot of people going to have a lot of recommendations, suggestions, say you should go this route. But what has God put inside of you to execute? What are the things that God is saying connect to? What are those, like you said, those wins that you feel good about? That you can go to bed at night and say, yeah, I feel good about that. Or even when you wake up and you look at yourself in that mirror, be like, yeah, I like what I see right here. Even amongst all the commentary, I love what I see. And I always tell people, and it's that me versus me, not me versus the world. It's me versus me. I'm in competition with myself, not you.
And you're your greatest sparring partner. Because it's like we in this together.
Yeah.
Because it's like sometimes I sat in a me versus me, and my perspective had been like, I'm at war with me. Like I don't like this person.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold up. Don't shame the shadow.
Don't shame the shadow. That's the thing. Let's make that clear. Me versus me is not cutting yourself up.
Yeah. And it become, and look, it may not go as far as cutting yourself up. It may become you too dumb to be in that room.
Right. You're not worthy. You're not valuable.
Don't speak up in this moment when your voice is needed.
Yeah. to those inner voices.
And I said with that, like, I had someone close to me that I was saying, like, I want you to do something differently. I live by fear. I said, well, how does that work? What does it get you? Because I know what it was like living with fear.
Yeah.
Living with fear was me continuing to walk. I was scared going against my intuition.
Yeah.
I was scared going against my intuition.
Yeah.
I was scared walking into the space I walked into.
Right.
And I ended up in this position I knew I didn't want to be, but I was asking for. Because ultimately at that time, and I'm going deeper, I was depressed and I kept thinking I was going to get beat up. I just kept saying I'm going to get beat up.
So you was telling yourself that narrative.
I was already in a scary space.
Yeah.
Like, I had just gotten to this point of hopelessness, and I began writing poetry, which was another rose due to concrete. For me.
That's one of my favorite Tupac
book. Yeah. And look, that's why it's so funny to think about my journey. As much as my parents were warned, it gave me clearer sight of them as individuals. So, like, mom is like prideful entrepreneur.
So it gave you
insight, real time. Like, I'm watching them like a hawk.
Like a hawk.
What? Oh, the dad is like driving the car like this, and like he goes to a certain gas station, he'll go to that one.
You taking in the data.
Yeah, this data. Like, mom's just locking the door and roll the window up a little bit. But we got to a certain space, and people take that personal. It's like, I've had doors get pulled on.
Yeah.
Like, people, and it's weird. It's funny because of where we come from.
Right. Because I know for me, like, when I'm in a restaurant, I'm always sitting where I'm looking at the door. And it's just it's a natural response to where I grew up. You know what I mean?
Because it's real time consequences to not doing those things.
Right.
And it's like, when I sit with it, it may not, like, I may actually get to a place that's sweet. But it might be the day that World Nation group decided to do something.
So let me ask you a question, bro. What do you define as sweet? What's that sweet space? What do you define it as?
And it's funny that I laugh because even as I say, I know the sweet space is always my peace, my internal peace.
Internal peace.
So it's like I could be. I use this analogy, like the house could be burning down, but I'm gonna find calm.
Right.
I'm gonna find peace,
right,
and knowing that God still gave me fresh air,
because
it's definitely carbon monoxide in the air. There's a lot of smoke that could kill me. The smoke alone could, I might not even burn it. I might just pass out.
The inhalation of that,
But the ability to go low, crawl out of the building, these stop, dropping rolls, the little things I learned as a kid, like that thing I can call on, right? That's my great gratitude. So I sit and just think, like, sweet. At one point for me was environmental. I was like, I gotta get to the security code apartment with the gate to pull out.
Gated,
I gotta get to the neighborhood with good reviews, and I gotta get to. It's like, but I'm still gonna have to pull up to that cookout on July 4th in that special car,
in that special whip,
and know that I'm going back to a space that's not this one. I'm still gonna have to find community. At some point,
right?
So I'm not gonna want to be around the other communities. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's limits to it. And I've seen the limits. I've seen the limits of not being around people that know what it's like. That know what it's like when you in that job interview, and you just know they've not been hired. Like you, there's a point in the interview, like they don't like me.
They don't like me. Like, they moving on to another candidate.
It's like, okay, Marquis. I said, Marquise. So, all right, what's up, man? Sorry. I said, this is Marquise Gary. Marquis. So Marcus. Like,
right.
So it's like, and I find that sense of community, that sense of shared trauma, but shared overcoming. Shared faith, shared joy, shared truth. Because to know, like, what a cold cut tastes like from Northeast Market.
Northeast Market,
right?
Yes.
Know what the chicken box tastes like. Then the rice. You get the fried rice.
Salt, pepper, ketchup.
And the yakami.
Yeah.
You know what? And people hear yakami. What's yakami? It's people from other places. Like, yakami. You're like, what? Right. It's like, oh, the big noodle with the egg.
With the egg. Yeah.
You know what gravy tastes like on the fries? Like, to know what K Swift sound like, or like Black Star makes it sound like on Friday when Pork Chop cutting up.
And
you get that Baltimore club music.
Y'all about to make me dance.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but to know that, to have people that come from that with me and started at that and see them transition their life. That's the gratitude. That's the thing where it's like, oh, I'm safe. That's the sweet spot for me.
That's the sweet spot.
Sometimes I want people to come into that with me sooner than they can. And sometimes I forget the sacrifices I had to make to get to this point. Like how I had to look at people that caused me harm different.
Right. But you said something that was critical. You said sacrifice. And it just made me think about, like, when you're looking to heal, you have to be very thoughtful and mindful of what sacrifices am I willing to make? What pivots, what things I'm willing to change so that I can really experience healing.
We were searching for the right way, did a lot of wrong. Can't go back, gotta move on. Gotta move forward, corrections given and accept the living. Still brings pain, even when you're moving with the best intentions. And you blessed with visions of joy, bliss, peace. Gratitude for every day I live to speak and I live to breathe in growth and abundance. Traumas get healed when the shadows confront it. I know my truth, I wear it in public. Meditate, pray, and get praise when I rise. Keep a clear mind and the prana stays high. Came here with everything, came here perfected. Took on some bags that I thought were protection. I let it all go, every limit. Grateful for peace in this life that I'm living. Glad to say the cycles are finished, complete. And I'm still on my feet. Wishing you peace. Wishing you peace. Wishing you peace. Well, thankful. Peace.